I'm sure we'll be very brief, and let me take the opportunity to welcome the ladies and gentlemen of the press to this very brief press briefing. And we'll start by giving you a synopsis of the outcomes of the 87th meeting of the Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. This briefing will include decisions as well as proposed actions to be taken by the Council. At this meeting, we had the full attendance of all of the heads who happened to be finance ministers. We considered a number of areas to include monetary stability, financial stability, fiscal and debt sustainability, growth and competitiveness, legislative issues, to include proposed amendments to the Banking Act, harmonized credit reporting bill and regulations. We also had a report from the Insurance Core Committee. And I will now give you a brief synopsis on the various agenda items. On the monetary stability, the Council received the Governor's report on monetary and credit conditions in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. The report assessed developments in monetary and credit conditions over the period January to September of 2016 relative to the same period in 2015. The report indicated that A, economic activity in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union is estimated to have improved in the first 9 months of 2016 compared to the first 9 months of 2015. The improvement was mainly due to an increase in tourist arrivals and travel receipts, as well as an expansion in construction activity. B, monetary conditions also improved during the review period, mainly due to increased financial flows from abroad. This improvement had a positive effect on economic conditions generally. Credit conditions remained relatively tight, with minimal changes in interest rates and a continued decline in banking sector credit to the private sector, including businesses and households. Having considered the monetary and credit conditions in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the Monetary Council agreed to maintain the minimum savings deposit rate at 2% and maintain the central bank's discount rate at 6.5%. The minimum savings rate is the lowest rate commercial banks can offer on savings deposits. The central bank's discount rate is the rate at which the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank lends to commercial banks. On the issue of financial stability, as at the end of September of 2016, financial conditions in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union had remained stable and resilient amid slow macroeconomic growth, uncertainty, and a low global interest rate environment. Financial performance in the banking sector improved during the period under review, mainly on account of the resolution of 3 commercial banks: the ABI Bank in Antigua and Barbuda, and the National Bank of Anguilla and the Caribbean Commercial Bank Anguilla Limited. Profits and capital increased from 1 year ago. The ratio of non-performing loans fell and liquidity remained at high levels, and certainly higher than the current minimum regulatory requirement of 6%. Looking forward, the financial sector is expected to remain stable and resilient heading into 2017. However, challenges such as the loss of corresponding banking relationships between some commercial banks operating in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union and their international counterparts persist. I now turn to the issue of fiscal and debt sustainability. The recent improvements in fiscal performance are encouraging. However, it is necessary for those gains to be protected. Frameworks for doing so include establishment of fiscal targets in relation to the ultimate 60% debt to GDP ratio by 2030. In keeping with this, Council agreed to recommend that member governments submit fiscal targets for for the approval of the Monetary Council at its July 2017 meeting. Council also agreed that the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank would provide support to the member countries in the preparation of these fiscal targets. The other area on the agenda item 4, is growth and competitiveness. Given the importance of private sector development to growth and competitiveness, the Council approved and signed the agreement for the establishment of the Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation to facilitate the private sector access to financing. The Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation is designed to encourage financial institutions in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union to increase their lending to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises through the provision of partial credit guarantees to facilitate access to financing by the private sector. Council agreed that commercial banks should be encouraged to increase lending to the private sector as a means of spurring growth. Council noted the challenges being experienced in payments for traders who trade agricultural and other products in Trinidad and Tobago, including under the Agro Shipping Initiative of the OECS, and mandated the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to enter into discussions with commercial banks and the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago towards a successful resolution. I now turn to the fifth agenda item, legislative issues. And under this agenda item, we looked at proposed amendments to the Banking Act. Following the passage of the Banking Act in 2015, the Central Bank, in consultation with the banking industry, identified several areas in the Act as either impractical or a challenge to the effective and efficient operationalization. The proposed areas for amendment have been divided into 3 main categories. These are 1, drafting clarifications, 2, definitions, and 3, policy issues. At its 86th meeting held on the 21st of October 2016, the Monetary Council approved the establishment of a Ministerial Subcommittee of the Council to lead discussions with stakeholders on the proposed amendments to the Act and to facilitate the process through to its enactment. The Council appointed Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves, Council Member for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as Chairman of the subcommittee. The other members are the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, Council Member for St. Kitts Nevis, and yours truly, Council Member of Antigua and Barbuda. Council agreed that the amendments to the Banking Act would be submitted for approval at its meeting scheduled for July of 2017. Council also agreed to recommend to member governments that they lend support to and participate in the consultative and legislative drafting workshop scheduled for April of 2017. The purpose of this workshop is to finalize the draft amendments to the Act in preparation for passage by December of 2017. I now turn to harmonized credit reporting bill and regulations. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, in collaboration with the International Finance Corporation, IFC, a member of the World Bank Group, is in the process of developing a credit reporting system for the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. A credit reporting system in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union will improve citizens' access to loans from financial institutions and is expected to assist in the reduction in lending rates. Credit reporting legislation is necessary to promote the growth and development of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union credit reporting system and the development and operationalization of a credit bureau within the single financial and economic space. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has engaged relevant stakeholders across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, including the Chambers of Commerce, Attorneys General, Ministries of Finance, financial sector regulators, and potential participants in the credit bureau, including banks, non-bank financial institutions, telecommunication companies, utility utilities companies, and hire purchase retailers to craft the harmonized credit reporting bill and regulations. The Council approved the proposed credit reporting bill and regulations and agreed to urge member governments to ensure the credit reporting bill and regulations are enforced by September of 2017. The sixth area on the agenda is a report from the Insurance Core Committee. And the Monetary Council noted that the Plan of Arrangement, BICO and CLICO Act, was passed in all of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union territories and was presented to the Bahamas Parliament for a first reading on the 15th of February 2017. Once the Act is passed, the process of engaging the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union courts will commence. Regarding CLICO, the Core Committee on Insurance continues to advocate on behalf of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union policyholders for fair and equitable treatment by the judicial manager. All options are now being considered as Council presses to ensure that the rights of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union policyholders are observed and enforced. The meeting concluded with the date of the next meeting and the venue for the 88th meeting of the Monetary Council to be held in Dominica on the 21st of July of 2017.